My engagement dinner was supposed to be about us. Instead, my mom raised her glass and praised my sister, calling her the one who deserved everything. That night, I realized this wasn't love, it was favoritism. And I was done letting it define me. Engagement dinners are supposed to be filled with love, laughter, and the kind of support that makes a couple feel celebrated. But mine felt like a trial I hadn't signed up for. The night began normally enough. My fiancé and I arrived at my parents' house, excited to share the news with extended family. The table was set beautifully, candles flickering, dishes steaming, and everyone in high spirits. I smiled, trying to ignore the small, familiar pang in my chest, the one that reminded me that, in my family, nothing was ever simple. Dinner started, and the compliments poured in, but not for me or my fiancé. My mom, seated across from me with her usual careful posture, raised her glass. "I'm so proud," she began, her eyes locking on my sister. "Your sister has always been the one who deserves every opportunity, every praise, every achievement." I froze mid-bite, the silverware heavy in my hands. My sister, sitting nearby with a perfectly polite smile, looked momentarily uncomfortable but didn't speak. My mom continued, oblivious to, or perhaps intentionally ignoring, the look of shock and hurt on my face. "She's always worked hard, made smart choices, and shown grace under pressure," Mom added. "It's her evening, really. I just hope we can celebrate it." I tried to force a laugh, brushing it off as a harmless compliment, but inside I felt like I'd been punched. My engagement dinner, something that was supposed to honor me and my fiancé, had become another stage for my sister's spotlight. 4 years, she had been the golden child, the favorite. Every success of mine had been compared to hers, every mistake magnified, and every achievement minimized. I forced myself to eat, my appetite gone, my mind racing. I could feel my fiancé's hand squeeze mine under the table, a silent question in her eyes. I nodded slightly, unable to speak without breaking my composure. After dinner, as everyone moved to the living room for dessert, my fiancé whispered, "Are they always like this?" I sighed. "More than you realize," I admitted. "It's not just tonight, it's a pattern. But I've learned to survive it." My parents continued to heap praise on my sister, recounting stories of her accomplishments, her awards, her perfect grades. They didn't mean to hurt me, or maybe they did, I could never be sure. Either way, the message was clear. My moment didn't matter nearly as much as hers. As the evening wore on, I felt something shift inside me. The anger, the frustration, the hurt, they didn't disappear, but they hardened into resolve. I realized that no amount of family favoritism could define my worth. If I wanted recognition, respect, or pride, I couldn't wait for it to come from them. I had to build it for myself, on my terms. Over the following months, I focused on my career, my relationships, and my personal growth. I pushed myself beyond my comfort zone, taking on challenges that mattered, creating achievements that weren't just trophies to show off, they were milestones of my own making. I learned to celebrate myself, to find pride in my accomplishments without needing anyone's approval. A year later, we had a small gathering to celebrate my engagement again, this time with a few friends and relatives who truly mattered to us. My parents were there, of course, but something had changed. My success had grown, my confidence had grown, and even my parents couldn't ignore it. Mom glanced at me across the room, her eyes betraying a flicker of realization. "You've done well," she said quietly. And for the first time, I felt a true sense of recognition, not overshadowed by my sister, not diminished by comparisons, just acknowledgement for what I had accomplished. I realized that nights like my original engagement dinner were painful but necessary. They forced me to confront favoritism, to understand my self-worth, and to find pride that didn't depend on anyone else. My sister could shine all she wanted, but it didn't dim my light. I had learned that I didn't need my family's constant praise to define me. I could define myself. That engagement dinner had been humiliating, yes, but it had also been a turning point. It taught me that even when the people closest to us fail to see our worth, we can rise above it, carve our own path, and create moments of pride that no one can take away.